And some of us never left. We stayed here. And this is where we'll be from now on. Our home. A home of the unknown soldier. Graves. We were left here, not forgotten, but just a place of rest and peace. A place that we could go and be, and not be remembered, but not be forgotten either.
My name is Gary Walters. I'm a member of the Cemetery Committee here at Hickory Plains, and I'd like to welcome you here today for our memorial service. It's our hope and prayer that our nation would never again be divided as it was in the 1860s. So in the spirit of unity, would you please stand and place your hand over your right hand over your heart, and pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I remember Mr. Lawrence Holloway as a very nice person in high school, and it makes me feel good to know that a nice person in America can still win. So it gives me pleasure to present the Honorable Lawrence Holloway, Prairie County Judge. Today I think we're honoring, if it was 26 or so unknown soldiers that were buried here in this cemetery. I was given this a little history on Hickory Plains. It's one of the oldest communities in Prairie County. It has been here long enough to witness Civil War, Trail of Tears, and the Butterfield Overland Stage. A young soldier and a father himself sat down to write a letter to his beloved wife, Laura, and children, back home in a place near here called the Johnson Chapel community, about 6 miles east. That's where they lived. The young father would become my great-great-grandfather, Frank M. Haley, when I came along some 100 years later. And it starts, "This leaves me in tolerable good health, and I hope it may find you and the children well. I have no news of importance. The Yankees are still knocking away at Charleston. I hope our forces will be able to keep them from winning there, Lord, because it would mean a ruin of our army if it falls. The men are very discouraged now, and to hear of such calamity at this time would demoralize the whole army. The enemy are making active movements in Tennessee, and from present indications, there will be a big battle fought at or near Chattanooga. Bragg has commanded there, and judging from his past conduct, I reckon he will fight and then run. The people and soldiers are fast losing confidence in him. We have it reported here that a large federal force have invaded Arkansas, and that our forces are falling back to Louisiana to form a junction with Kirby Smith. Oh, how I would like to be there to help drive them off our soil. But it seems that it is not intended for me to get there until this war is over. I hope that day is not far distant. The most of the soldiers are very low-spirited, and a great many of them are ready to give it up now. It is true our cause looks gloomy, but I have some hope yet. I reckon there will not be much chance to get anything more from home in the way of clothing. I fear we will not be much of getting letters from now. I have not received any since Captain Perry came from there. It causes one a great deal of uneasiness to think of you living there by yourself with no one to get your wood or to help you in any way. I have had hopes of getting a furlough, but so many of our men have deserted that I think it will be impossible to get one now. 6 of our company have deserted. Crops of all sorts are good over here. There is no danger of the army suffering from bread if we keep the Yankees from getting any more country. But I fear we will suffer for meat, as there are no hogs of any consequence in this country, and the beef we get is not fit to eat if we could do any better. We do not get bacon more than once a week, and then we do not get enough to do much good. You must take care of your hogs, as meat will be scarce and high. I don't know what you will do for salt. I hope you will be able to get some. As this is a pretty good chance, I will send you $40 you can use as you may need it. I would send more if I had it. It is time for us to draw our money now. I reckon we will draw it in a few days. I will be without money till we do draw, but if I need any, I can borrow some from the boys. If the Yankees get in that country and destroy everything, you must make them feed you. They are feeding citizens about Vicksburg. With every chance, or write every chance, and tell me something about the neighbors and how they're getting along. Tell Clay and Charlie I would write them, but they can read this and it will do just as well as if I wrote them a letter, as I have written all in it that would interest them. Brother Newt is well and as fat as a bear. We have meetings and preaching nearly every night. The Locks boys fixed a nice brush arbor with seats, and there were plenty of pines. They fixed up a scaffold, put dirt on it, and then put pine knots on it and set them afire, and they made a better light than a candle. A great many have converted, and there are a great many mourners now. We have had a fine sermon last night. We have been at this place about 4 months. A great many think we will go to Mobile when we leave here, as it is reported that the Yankees are trying to take that place. I want to see you all worse than anything on earth, but I will have to try to be patient. Try and be a good woman. Try to train our dear little children so that they will be a blessing to you, our names, and to society. Pray to God to give you a good heart and teach you the right way to live. Give my love to all of our connections. Kiss the kids, children, and may the Lord bless us all and soon permit us to see each other is my humble and sincere prayer. I pray to God to help me, to protect me, and to spare me for your sake. I pray the Lord to have mercy on all of us and permit us to see each other and live happy again. God, give love to all and accept a full portion for yourself. Your devoted husband till death, Frank M. Haley. Thank you.
Some glad morning when this life is over, I'll fly away to a home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away. Oh, I'll fly away. Oh, glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. Just a few more weary days and then I'll fly away. Joys never end. I'll fly away. Oh, I'll fly away. Oh, glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. When the shadows of this life have grown, I'll fly away. Like a bird from his prisoners is flown, I'll fly away. Help me out, everybody.
At this time, I would ask Miss Judy Gore to come forward. Thank you. You folks may not know it, but Miss Judy Gore has been a great help to us this last 2 or 3 years. You've had a chance to walk through our cemetery. You can see that headstones have been repaired. Several have been cleaned and leveled. She has been instrumental in locating and hiring someone to locate these unknown graves. And we have a little plaque in appreciation of everything that you've done. It says, to Judy Gore, you cared, you worked, researched, persisted until the tombstones of the Civil War soldiers were restored and the 24 unknown soldiers were marked and dedicated in Hickory Plains Cemetery, May the 29th, 2023. Judy, we thank you for all your work. And we appreciate everything you've done. Thank you. We're going to turn this over to Miss Debbie. She's going to make some historical comments.
Memorial Day, or Decoration Day as it later became called, actually began spontaneously following the Civil War. As early as 1866, a group of freed slaves scattered flowers on the graves of Union soldiers in Charleston, South Carolina, in their gratitude for their freedom. But it was General John A. Logan who proposed an official Memorial Day on May the 5th, 1868, just for the express purpose of having flowers placed on the graves of soldiers who had fought in the Civil War, both Union and Confederate. And so in various places around the country, you'll find different towns and cities that claim to have the first Memorial Day, or one part of the tradition that started here. But many places claim to have the first this or that part of this wonderful tradition. It has now grown to be a part of all of ours for the memory of all fallen soldiers in all the wars of the United States. In 1968, the Congress made it an official national holiday. Since Arkansas seceded from the Union on May the 8th, 1861, we tend to believe that this state was wholly Southern, but it wasn't. It's true, Arkansas raised over 30 infantry regiments and over 15 cavalry regiments and battalions and 6 artillery batteries for the Confederacy. But there are also 10 infantry regiments, several of those of African descent, 4 cavalry regiments and 2 artillery batteries, one of African descent, that were raised for the Union. We were a divided state. And in this cemetery, there are Civil War soldiers, 51, counting the unknowns, that fought on both sides of the conflict. The road between Des Arc and Austin and Ward was a very busy one for troops during the Civil War because of the port at Duval's Bluff and the one at Des Arc. And troops came up and down this road out here, the Butterfield Overland Stage route, came up and down this road carrying troops and munition and regiments of soldiers and artillery. In fact, there was a skirmish close to Cypress Bayou where 4 Confederate soldiers were killed in August of 1864. So this was an active part of this theater of war in the late part of 1864. At different times there were outbreaks of measles and typhoid and diphtheria, especially where there were large encampments of soldiers. And it hit in the area of Austin and Ward several times. And there was a male and female normal school just to the south of us here. And it was commandeered to be a hospital when the facilities at Austin were overrun with sick soldiers. And we know that the Confederates who are buried in the group of 6 died there from disease. Many of the soldiers who died in the Civil War did not die from wounds from artillery shells, but from diseases. So for nearly 160 years, these 24 soldiers, the 18 who lie here and the 6 who lie in a separate place, have laid there unmarked, although tradition has kept their spots unbothered. No one has been buried over them. It's not been disturbed. Thankfully, tradition, heritage, and careful management has kept it undisturbed until John Riggs, with his ground-penetrating radar, carefully marked these graves so that today we can for certain say these are the Civil War soldiers, unknown to us but known to God. And through his efforts and the generosity of Matthew and Jason Bible, of Will Phelan, John Riggs, Tiffany Tiffin, and the volunteers who helped raise the money through the cemetery walk, we today can dedicate and mark these graves with memorials and give them the proper last rites that they probably did not receive 160 years ago. Gentlemen, if you will, uncover the monument. This memorial is erected in memory of 18 unknown soldiers buried here who died during the Civil War. They are known only to God. 1861, 1865.